So, thank you very much.
Yes, you're watching Auction Arithmetic, brought to you by Rev Sports, and of course presented by Fanatic Sports. We're still hanging there. It's nice to see we're still hanging there after what's been a very long day. What started with all of us thinking it's all going to be so mature and such cautious and well thought of strategies all went bust in the last few hours. We saw everything possible from desperation to last ditch efforts and a lot of probably the 10th or the 15th plans kind of coming in for various teams. Just to kind of give everyone a recap who's joining us in here at the end of what's been probably a very long, exciting but tiring day. A lot of big buys here. Just very quickly, the ones who broke the 10 crore bracket in some sense: Lockie Ferguson, Nicholas Puran, Avesh Khan, Shreyas Iyer, of course, right at the start of the day, Prasidh Krishnan, Ishan Kishan, Deepak Chahar, Shardul Thakur, Hasaranga, and Harshal Patel. I hope I haven't missed anyone. I think those are the 10 crore guys as of now. And the only team who probably managed to pick up quite a few of their decent buys without reaching the 10 crore mark was Punjab Kings. Just to also recap very quickly, the purse left with each franchisee at the end of day one of the auction, where only about 97 players were sort of picked to go under the hammer, out of which quite a few were unsold. KKR has 12.6 crores remaining, Punjab Kings 28.6, Rajasthan Royals 12.15, Mumbai Indians 27.8, CSK 20.45, Delhi 16.5, RCB 9.2, Gujarat 18.8, Lucknow the least 6.9, and Sunrisers 20.15. A lot of movement there, a lot of action. Thank you so much, first of all, for all of you to still be here with us. Thank you, Deep, Veda, Joydeep, Anand, for joining us at this late hour. But I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts wafting around. Initial thoughts, very quickly. Veda, I'm going to come to you. How disappointed are you, or happy are you at yesterday?
Very disappointed. Like I'm actually being very honest, like straight on the face. We had literally 7 to 8 Karnataka players, apart from the ones retained, go to almost like 6 franchises, I think, and not even one for RCB. I think somewhere down the line they missed a trick completely, because you need to have a local a player in the squad at least to bring that connect. And the fans, especially the RCB fans, are very true to the franchisee. They connect to the Karnataka boys really well. Being a regional language, there are a lot of promos or videos which go out in their language, and you would at least want someone to talk about it or tell the fans to say, like, look, IPL starting, you can watch me there, or whatever it is, even if it is like a couple of liners. I think that kind of gives a kick, I would say. Like, being a Kannadiga, I'd love someone who can speak Kannada and put it across to the local fans. That is something I feel RCB missed out. Disappointed, largely disappointed, especially with Abhinav. They didn't bid for him. At least they should have tried. Probably it wouldn't have mattered that much. Surprised that they went for Anuj Rawat so aggressively and didn't even bid for Abhinav even once. And it literally looks now like RR is got all the Karnataka boys, and everybody is gone there. Previously, how Punjab at once had 5 players, now RR has all the Karnataka boys, and that kind of pinches straight to the heart. Like, really disappointed.
Quick question: whether you're jumping ship now?
No, I'm not jumping ship. It is just that I don't mind them doing whatever it is. At least pick one guy. Like, you had Manish, you had Abhinav, even for the fact that even for KC Karyappa in the end, like, they could have gone for him. They don't have a prominent frontline Indian spinner. Like they let go of Chahal. They picked Shahbaz Ahmed, but
Ahmad,
he's
yeah.
someone who still wouldn't give you like 4 overs. KC Karyappa has done really well in the domestic circuit, recently concluded. Mystery spinner, he's come back to his own, and he's got that. I would say like an edge, someone who would compete with the likes of Varun Chakravarti or Sunil Narayan to match that. He can bowl in the new ball, he can bowl mid overs, he can bowl in the death. I at least felt like maybe they haven't picked any spinner, Indian spinner. They would go for him, but I clearly feel they lost the plot in the end. It looked like after, for a very long time, RCB was not there, not part of the auction itself. They were like not even bidding, not even doing anything.
Well, to give you some consolation, Veda, I think there were quite a few teams there who lost the plot pretty much at various stages here today. So some commiseration there for you, quite a bit of company. But to just go over the squad that RCB has accumulated so far: Faf, Harshal Patel, Hasaranga, Virat, Maxwell, DK, Hazelwood, and Shahbaz Ahmed. That's how it looks like. But let me just go across as well to a few others. Deep, your thoughts? I think if you could pick one franchise that got things right, that knew exactly how to react and were probably calm and held their senses about themselves, which one would it be?
Lucknow Super Giants. I thought they were really good, and I think they were very good in the first half of the day as well, and then obviously the second half. Uh, they got obviously Avesh Khan, big addition, because as I mentioned, the first half they had got the top six almost kind of sorted. In the second half, they got Avesh, they got Mark Wood, Ankit Rajput. Ankit Rajput with the new ball can do the trick. Avesh Khan obviously is brilliant. He's in the fringes in terms of all three formats for India. That's what I hear. Mark Wood, again, one of the main bowlers. I mean, he's again somebody. It's a very rare commodity. Someone like Mark Wood who can bowl at 145 plus, right? So I think one thing they might look into, and obviously they got Jason Holder. For me, I think he's a very underrated bowler across all formats. I think he's a banker. So maybe they might look at getting maybe another spinner or something, because all they've got is Bishnoi, Deepak Huda. I'm not too sure whether you can get too many overs out of him. But apart from that, I thought day one, I thought they did really, really well.
Yes, for a new franchise to come out and be a little steady with things was quite commendable. This is how their team is shaping up: Quinton, Manish Pandey, Jason Holder, Deepak Huda, Krunal Pandya, KL Rahul, of course, Stoinis, Bishnoi, Mark Wood, Avesh Khan, and Ankit Singh Rajput. Joyda, how would you say a team like, or a franchise like KKR did today? Not too much of activity, but how would you rate their performance today?
Yeah, not too much of activity. And, Shivam Mavi and Pat Cummins both going at 7.25 crores. So I don't know if that's good news for Shivam Mavi or bad news for Pat Cummins. But that's how the auction pans out. They had these players at the last under-19 India win, where Shubman Gill and Mavi and Nagar Koti came straight after that. And today they repaid their faith. But sometimes when you see the numbers of a Shivam Mavi through every format, to Vijay Hazare's and Mustaq Ali's, you will find lots of others who have done better. But sometimes the franchise feels that because we've invested in this person for so long, we should go the whole hog. It didn't happen with Nagar Koti, because they went for a while and then they let go. Obviously, they have their sights on Shivam Mavi. And when you go for 7.25 crores, there's obviously more than one team that's gunning for you. So they must have seen something that they feel they can do. But when I look at the whole team, they only picked up one wicketkeeper, Sheldon Jackson. And, he's a brilliant, brilliant batsman. He's been around for a long time, one of those journeymen of domestic cricket. It won't be easy keeping to, somebody of Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti. I remember when Ajanta Mendes first came into the team back in the day, Riddhi Mansa is the only one who could read him being a keeper. Everybody else, all the batters, the international batters struggled against him for the first 10, 15 days, and he wouldn't bowl much in the nets. Sunil Narayan doesn't bowl much in the nets to the international players, because every time when he came in, when Ajak Killis came to bat or McCullum came to bat, he would just go and bowl single stump because he didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. And I understand that bit. That's about being a mystery spinner. You're only mystery for a certain amount of time. Then people start reading you. So having said that, it's still looking Shreyash Iyer, huge buy, captain, okay, gone. Sheldon Jackson is at 60 lakhs, is a steal. Nitish Rana is something they obviously wanted to have. Andre Russell, Venkatesh Iyer are already in there. Shivam Mavi and Varun Chakravarti. So I still feel they'll depend a lot on tomorrow to fill. They've only got 9 players, and they need another 6, 7 at least to be able to make a proper squad, even not even 22. I mean, you need 15, 16 to be on the park. It's a long tournament. It's even longer this year with 2 more new teams coming. So and I have a feeling they've always gone for the under-19 India players. That's been a trademark of KKR's. They've done it before, and I have a feeling that'll happen tomorrow.
Going from under-19s to literally the senior squad once again, CSK doesn't disappoint here as well. And Anand, I mean, we were sharing a lot of the angst a little earlier, so I'd like to continue that conversation with you. Chennai Super Kings, there's always this thought, you think they're probably pushing the handle a bit each time. They keep pushing that boundary. Okay, the first time you thought, okay, you doubted them and they proved you wrong. How would you rate their strategy today? A lot of sense of, okay, I know what I'm doing and what I want, what the team wants to. A lot of desperation towards the end. How did that go for them?
Well, Chennai Super Kings usually during the auction are quite a reflection of their captain. They know exactly what they want to do. They have a strategy in place. They go step by step. If plan A doesn't work, they move quickly to plan B, and then they go hard at plan B to make sure at least that succeeds. Today, that didn't seem to happen. I don't know if Stephen Fleming's absence at that auction table had a role to play over there. But certainly it looked like Chennai were not able to pick up many of their first choice players. And when they couldn't pick up their first choice players, they weren't quite sure how hard to go for their second choice players. So while they have recreated a group, that has been so successful for them over the years, there are still so many holes left in this Chennai team. And with only 20 crore left in the bank, it's hard to see how they're going to fill them, because a lot of the players who you expect to step up and do the job consistently have come in the course of the first day's auction. Yes, there's plenty to come tomorrow in what should be an accelerated auction beyond a point. But I think Chennai has missed the boat in terms of picking up some of the players that they would have wanted to. We saw them pushing hard for certain players, but then withdrawing just about at the last minute. Yes, they did have a smaller purse than some of the others, but they knew this. Having done their retentions, they knew exactly what their purse was. We expected them to have gone hard for someone like a Shah Rukh Khan, which they went up to a point and then withdrew. There was a bit more confusion and desperation in their bidding, and just generally the sense around the auction table than you usually see from Chennai. I think, when after they picked up a player like Deepak Chahar, to again try and bid for Shah Thakur just because he was part of the team earlier, it didn't really seem to add up beyond a point. I mean, Chennai Super Kings usually very settled, very clear in their strategies. I think maybe they didn't get who they wanted early on, and towards the second half, just perhaps, I think saying they lost the plot would be too extreme, but they certainly looked like a team that was getting frazzled on the field.
Yeah, and we've seen auctions right from the start till the end. I've never seen the Chennai table be that frazzled for sure in the past. But Deep, you had a point to make.
Yeah, with Chennai Super Kings, the other important thing is, listen, MSD, if he's on the field, he has the ability to get the best out of the players. But chances are he might not be there playing all 14 games, right? So that's the other big thing. If he's not there out there playing all 14 games, and maybe that's the reason they've gone back to the same players who've been part of the franchise before, so they know how it works. Yeah. So if you look at that team here, apart from Tushar Deshpande, everyone has played for CSK before. So I don't know. I think they're kind of stuck in the middle with MSD maybe not playing the whole season. They would want to try and get the same lot back, guys who've played before. But if they don't, then who's going to kind of mentor them on the field? Because MSD's style is kind of mentoring players on the field, not off the field. He doesn't speak much off the field. He does it on the field. But if he's not there on the field for all 14 games, then who is it that's going to mentor them, or who is it going to show the way to these guys? So it's a little tricky, as Anand mentioned. I mean, CSK, they've kind of dug themselves a little bit of a hole here.
Yeah, Joydar, you wanted to come in?
Yeah, just to add to that, I mean, Chennai Super Kings MSD always goes for players who are currently playing for their country. So there was a time, when Chennai was at their best, you would always find Murli Vijay, Ravindra Jadeja, Dhoni himself, and everybody else that comes, Bravos and everybody. So I think that's the reason why he went for Shardul Thakur, and he also went hard for Deepak Chahar, because these are the guys playing for their country. And last year, Mumbai was a team that had all 11 players who are playing international cricket. All their 7 Indian players had played for India in the last 6 months. That's how planning went. Whether it panned out like that or not is another matter. But that's how strong the team is. Because if you've got 7 guys of your Indian players who have played for India in the last 6 months, you picked the right guys.
Well, leading on to Mumbai, then you kind of brought me onto the next team that was relatively quiet today. They probably had a strategy in place, but not too many buys there. Veda, your thoughts on how Mumbai fared today?
Well, they were a bit active at the beginning of it, and they were backing out very early. Maybe they were saving up for Ishan Kishan. We expected, they would go hard for some players later on. Eventually, it didn't turn out like that. Like for a very long period, they had just got one player, and they were sitting quietly. I don't know if they have like under 19 players or uncapped players where they're waiting for them to come on board and then bid for them. Maybe it may be a situation where they have a clear plan that who they want. They clearly couldn't go for Kunal or Rahul Chahar for that matter, who've done well for them. But it's quite interesting actually. Like nobody knows what they come up with, but they have a good core group. Rohit is there. Pollard is there. So I think because their core is so strong and getting Ishan back in the core as well. So I feel that, they have a core team. They just need, younger players to fill around. So maybe they're just waiting for the younger players to come. Maybe tomorrow we'll see them be a bit more active.
Deep, you were shaking your head right at the start when you mentioned
So obviously they have to be active. There's no two ways about it. They don't have enough players anyway. I think they've got 7 now. And they've spent 14 crores on Ishan Kishan and 15.25. Sorry, 15.25 crores on Ishan Kishan. So that was baffling. Yeah. But I guess they had already committed or whatever. I've heard before that there were other franchises who wanted to retain him, but he didn't wanted to get retained because MI wanted to pick him up. But anyways, that's besides the point. But when you spend 15.25 out of 45 odd crores left, you've spent 1/3 of your purse on one guy, right? And then I'm sure they're going to wait for Marco Johansson to come and all these guys who've been there. And so that will happen. Obviously, they will get into that. But at this point in time, things will happen tomorrow. But at this point in time, they've only got Jasprit Bumrah, one fast bowler. Murugan Ashwin, who hasn't played regularly, one spinner. Batting still looks all right. Dewald Brevis, watch out for him. I was there watching him during that World Cup. And he's special, but I don't think he's ready as yet. Maybe we'll take another year or so, but he's special. That's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, while batting looks still all right, but bowling part of things, was a little baffling. And obviously they'll have to do a much better job tomorrow. I hope, and we've been talking about how much the system they have in terms of scouting players and sending people and watching all these tournaments, not just in India domestic cricket, but even outside India as well. So hopefully they have a list there of uncapped Indian and overseas players, and hopefully they'll do much better tomorrow.
I kind of felt that they might try to get Shardul just so that he, gets in so much balance. Maybe not skill-wise, not as good as Hardik when it comes to batting, but I think someone who could do that role, which has been the success formula for MI with Hardik and Pollard coming in late and launching and getting those quick runs. they always had that longer batting lineup. So I felt that they might go for Shardul.
So quickly, listen, as of now, they have only Kevin Pollard as their straight away somebody, an overseas player who walks in, right? So you have three other guys. I'm saying Brevis is special, but I don't think he might
won't
not
get a game.
the first 11. But then you have people like, I'm sure they'll be looking at someone like a Romario Shepherd or a Odion Smith as well. Those guys, and obviously Hansen, Marco Janssen. So yeah, I mean, there are quite a few good players still to come tomorrow. I think they would obviously would have them on their list. Sorry, Anand, you.
Yeah, and Mumbai is known to kind of go for that odd West Indian talent, if not with the bat, then with the ball for sure. Yes, Anand. Anand,
Instead of raising your hand, you start speaking. If you keep doing that, you won't get your chance. He's not watching you. Veda has to know what she has to ask next.
Veda, you're watching.
I did watch him. Okay, and this is one of the reasons why Veda should be there at the auction table instead of a Charu telling Ness. That's it. No more raising hands for you. Stop. But yes, Anand, coming to you. Yep.
No, I was just going to add to Deep's point about Dewald Brevis. He actually played his first senior game today. I mean, this is a player who hasn't even played, a senior domestic game for his side. So in terms of being ready, he made 23 and 25 today. And I guess when he got off the field and switched on his phone, he would have been in for some good news. $400,000 goes a long way when you're an 18-year-old in South Africa.
Yep.
Yeah, in today's day and age, somebody would have run him with the gloves and told him, "Dude, this is what you're at."
Yeah, maybe that is also there. They all keep a track of what's happening.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah, they do. Even when they're busy during a game, yes. But let's quickly go through a few of the other teams. A team like Sunrisers, Joyda, seemed pretty okay till the end, though. A few coming in thick and fast, a few bids, a few crazy bidding wars that they were involved in as well. Just your thoughts on how Sunrisers is looking at this point.
Yeah, they seem to be having a fuller squad. That's the best thing about it. We've got 13 players already, and they've still got 20 crores left. So there is some planning that can still go into it. As of now, I mean, they're looking a little more full. Okay, Rahul Tripathi is a great buy. Priyam Garg, again, they must have seen something, obviously. Again, they've invested in him and they want to see him through. Nicholas Puran didn't have a great tournament, but obviously he's special. Abdul Samad, we know about him. Abhishek Sharma. Washington Sundar is a big one because, he can bowl at the top. He can bowl later on, playing for India right now. So his confidence is great. Umran Malik, we know he's been retained. Suchit, as we know how good he is. Shreyash Gopal has done well. Kartik Tyagi, a lot of promise. Natarajan on his way back. I did see him play the odd game. He didn't play every game in the domestic cricket because he had some injuries also in between. But when he's also on his way back. And Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is obviously maybe not that same Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, but you never know. These guys are big players, special players. They make a comeback. When everybody writes them off, they're in training right now, and then they come back, and you suddenly see a revived Bhuvaneshwar Kumar. Yeah, I think there's still a bit of work to do, but yeah, decent squad as of now.
Yeah, we were talking about Shardul just a while earlier, and Shardul managed to go to Delhi. Just a word on.
You have to speak. Don't raise your hand.
Oh, sorry, I forgot, Veda. I forgot. Right. So
I was looking at I'm telling you, look down. You don't look up. That's what I'm saying. Don't raise your hand. Just speak.
So I think Joyda is being very, very kind here. But listen, with all due respect, Sunrisers is a school team, if you look at it. Talent, yes. But Cain Williamson, he's struggling with his elbow, right? There is no guarantee that he's going to be fit for the IPL. He might not be playing the series now because of his elbow. So there is no guarantee. Abdul Samad, good talent, not much as yet. Rahul Tripathi, good talent, but he's not a match winner. Priyam Garg, good talent, nothing much. Nicholas Puran, special, but last year and a half, nothing much. Abhishek Sharma, good talent, nothing yet. Jagdish Suchit, 4 years ago, I thought he was one of the best left-arm spinners, all-rounders coming through. Hasn't played much cricket since. Washington Sundar special. Is he a match winner? As of now, maybe not. Shreyas Gopal won't find a place last year in the RR side. Umran Malik, 150 plus, brilliant. Is he ready? Don't know. Natarajan, is he fit enough after his injuries? Don't know. Bhuvi, what form? Don't know. Karthik Tyagi, yes. That's your team there. 13 players, your playing 11 is kind of set. But do you have a squad to win the tournament as of now? I don't think so. Are there players outside in the auction still available? Help you make your team win? Maybe not too many.
I agree with what you're saying, because I feel if they wanted a left-hander and an overseas wicket-keeper, why didn't they go for Quinton de Kock, who's someone who's been consistent and who's done really well for MI? And I was pretty shocked and surprised, like, he's gone for 6 and Nicholas Pooran is gone for 10 point something. Where if you look at the ratio of the amount of games de Kock has won for the franchisee to Nicholas Pooran, there's a big difference. And Quinton de Kock at the top of the order, I think, would have given more stability than Nicholas Pooran coming in at 4 or 5.
They were actually quiet at the start as well. SRH was quite silent at the start when all the Quintons and all came in. But yeah, Anand, I saw you raising your hand. Go for it.
Just making that point about the wicketkeeper left-hand batsman. There's another one from South Africa, Ryan Rickleton. He hasn't played too much, but he's very much in this very similar mold as Quinton de Kock, slightly taller. If anything, an even better player of spin than de Kock is. Your point is very well made. If you wanted a left-hand wicketkeeper overseas player, there were many options.
Plus an international, right now, current international. Like, I'll put it across in that way, because like if he's a young cricketer, you don't know how he would respond coming into a big stage. But like, I would see, like, they were looking at a big name. Nicholas Pooran
season
is
campaigner,
like someone who has experience, because you need experience. And Riser, if you look at it, it's a very young squad with just Cain Williamson there. There is no other batter who actually would look like, who's going to take the game away.
Sorry, Anand, after you. So you've been waiting. Sorry, Anand.
Yeah.
No, I'm done.
Right. So, right then. See, the other thing, if you look at all the really good sides, so you've got at least 3-4 players who are match winners, right? And these guys are mavericks, right? They're not going to be consistent. But when they play, they'll win games for you, right? Even if they play and win 2 games, you're sorted. You don't have to. You basically have to win 8 out of the 14 to qualify, right? So you're looking to win 8 games. And if you're match winners, they win you 6 out of those 8, you've done well. And the others will chip in. But when I look at that squad, as of now, maybe they'll go on and win and whatever they might. But as of now, I don't see so-called match winners there. You see some of the other teams, you find 2, 3, 4 match winners who can win games on their own. I'm not too sure there is, as of now, anyone on that list as good as Cain Williamson is. I'm not too sure in T20 if you want to call him a match winner.
Right? Fair enough. Yeah. Go on.
Also, without Deep. Yeah, so go after you, Deep.
No, my biggest question with Cain Williamson is he's struggling with that elbow for almost a year, or maybe more than a year now. Right? I don't know how that situation is. I seriously don't. And we all know that tennis elbow doesn't really have a so-called a treatment, right? You've just got to rest and hope that it heals as soon as possible. But yeah, so that's again a big area of concern for SRH.
Just a few minutes left. So we're going to look at the 2 teams that are left, 2 franchises left over that we just give a once-over through. We're speaking of those Mavericks in some sense. Deep, you mentioned that, and probably Punjab and Delhi might have a couple of those there. Delhi got a few already retained. They went for a very bowling-heavy day today. But your thoughts, Joyda? Your thoughts on how Delhi Capitals looks? Warner, Mitch Marsh, Pant, Akshar, Notkia, Prithvi, Shardul, Mustafizur, Kuldeep, Nagar, Koti, KS, Bharat.
See, David Warner is a huge plus. I mean, just to cue to what Deep was saying about Cain Williamson. He played in a team with Johnny Bairstow and David Warner opened the batting. So that made life easier for him at 3. But now he's got to do in the current Hyderabad team, none of them are there. And none of the players of that repute or that caliber are there. So I feel for him. And then he also had a Rashid Khan to turn back to. So those 3, and then everybody else, Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's form, Holder would chip in, Shah would play the odd good knock here and there, Manish Pandey would play. But these are the guys, day in and day out, they would do it for you. So yeah. But David Warner is a big one. They lost Shikhar. So David Warner is a big one. And I was surprised they let Shikhar go. He's got 1,600 runs in the last 3 seasons. And they're talking about age or team for the season. Shikhar is fit it's not always about the age. It's about how fit he is. And I think he can easily get 3 years into the IPL. That's how good he is. And how can you let a guy like him go, who has a strike rate of 130 plus, 1,600 runs in the last 3 years, seasoned campaigner, played for India, can take the pressure. When there are a couple of wickets, if Prithvi and the number 3 are out for some reason, he can still stem the rot. So you need people like that who have the experience to get you out of trouble in tough games.
All right. A quick word from the rest of you. If you want to point out any aspect of Delhi that seems a little worrisome, not too many pure batting options there just yet. A very heavy bowling side at this moment. But any quick thoughts before I move to the last franchise, and then we can.
No, I feel their top 4 is kind of done. With David Warner, Prithvi Shaw, Mitch Marsh has been batting 3 for Australia, and Rishabh Pant. That makes your top 4. And then you have your bowlers with Shardul and Mustafizur. All those people, they have got Kuldeep Yadav as well. But I am looking at someone who could be your main spinner. Like Kuldeep, he's just coming back. I don't see him fully what he was as yet. And I feel that is one aspect where they're missing, and they're missing at that 5 and 6 number. Who's going to bat? So that is going to be really crucial for them. They have top full, bottom full, in the middle. They've got spaces. They need to fill that.
That seems to be Punjab's case as well, and I'm going to get Anand in on this. Dhawan, Rabada, Mayank, Arshdeep, Bairstow, Rahul Chahar, Shahrukh, Harpreet, and Ishan Porel. A lot of middle order kind of missing from quite a few of the franchises, not just Punjab and Delhi. But thoughts on Punjab? No breaking bank happening, but how do you think they've fared today?
It's an interesting one because I know Jodeep does point about Shikhar Dhawan doing well and being consistent is an excellent one, and I take it completely. But there's just a little concern when you have Mayank and Shikhar. If they're going to open together, you might end up with a lot of occasions where you're kind of 40 for no loss or 40 for 1 first up, and then putting a lot of pressure on the batsman to come in because both of them take a little bit of time to get their eye in. I know Shikhar has kind of switched his game up in T20s a little bit in the recent past and is scoring much quicker. But both these batsmen put a premium on their wicket. That's how they've been brought up. That's how they played their cricket. So they tend not to perhaps attack and play as freely or fearlessly as some people do in T20 cricket these days. So that's just a little bit of a concern, I think, with that opening pairing. But overall, it looked like they had a good day at the auction.
Yeah. And it's a good point you make. A lot of the reasons why Virat sort of considered, coming down 1 drop just because of that strike rate becomes a huge factor when you're opening for a T20 side. Closing remarks. Yes, Deep. Dekh liya aapka haath.
Right, sorry. Yeah. So quickly, I mean, Punjab, as Anand mentioned, but I think Mayank, I thought he's been brilliant last couple of years. I think he's a selfless kind of a batter who looks to kind of, so I'm a big fan of Mayank. Shikhar, on his bad year as well, he'll get you 400 runs. Bad year, he'll get you 400 runs. So he's kind of a banker that you can kind of depend to get 400. But when I look at that side, and I'm like, okay, you've got Prabh Simran who can open, you've got Johnny Bairstow who opens, Shikhar and Mayank who opens. So you've got 4 guys who opens. And obviously one of them, maybe Prabh Simran won't play. So Johnny Bairstow, Shikhar, Mayank, one of them has to play at 3. So that becomes a little bit of a tricky situation there. You would ideally want to play Johnny Bairstow and make him open because obviously he should be a first choice keeper. You've got Jitesh and Prabh Simran there. So they still are, I think, looking at a few more slots there, especially middle order batter. You've got Harpreet Brar, you've got Shah Rukh Khan, but I still think you need another maybe number 4 there and maybe a number 7. But that's my take. And yeah, that's that. And the team before, which one was it?
Team
We're
before was
discussing?
Delhi.
Delhi.
Deep, can I just add to this?
Yeah, sure.
What Anand said, that it was because it was always Shikhar batted with Prithvi Shaw, so the role that was given to Shikhar was different. Now, with 2 people of sort of similar, one of them will have to take the onus, bull by its horn. So the coach will decide, or maybe as Deep said, we'll have a Johnny Bairstow do what Prithvi did with Shikhar and Mayank play a 3 and control the innings.
It'll be interesting. I could still see Bairstow coming in 1 drop though. He's done that successfully with the Sunrisers. So in the past,
Sunrisers,
that will happen.
and just with the Delhi, I think Veda is spot on. I completely agree. I mean, as good as that team looks, they would still need somebody in that 5-6. I think there is one player short there. Another, you've got Sarfaraz who can do that job at number 6-7 maybe, but you still need one more middle order batter. The other impressive thing, because again, we mentioned about how the seamers will get more in this auction because of the venues here. Pune, Mumbai, small venues. Spinners might not get, and that's been the story so far, right? I mean, even people like Yuzi Chahal have got half the price as the seamers, like Avish Khan and others, right? So looking at that, Mitch Marsh, obviously, I mean, he's a powerful hitter, right? Small grounds, powerful hitter, less spin bowling, more seam bowling. He's been in good form, batting at number 3. I think Mitch Marsh is a good call for DC, especially looking at the venues for this IPL.
Awesome.
I think I feel for Marcus Stoinis with Mitch Marsh coming in.
Yeah, I think that's what even
kind of isn't it?
That's the reason we went for a Brevis, or in the absence of a Sam Curran, which they don't have. Someone lower down the order, missed out on quite a few there. But just closing remarks, people. Anything that you want to throw light on? Anything that you want to predict for tomorrow?
No, I'm not going to predict anything because
nothing's happening.
It started off I'm just not talking about one franchisee here. Like everybody looked like they know what they're doing. It's all sorted, and suddenly it was chaotic by the end of it. Like nobody knew who their first choice was, nobody knew who their second choice was, and all of a sudden, a Tewatia goes for 9 crores and Shah Rukh Khan goes for 8, and people are not bidding for him. It was just 2 franchisee, and then suddenly there's 3, 4. All of a sudden, oh shit! I think we're missing out on players, and we need to get someone because we don't have the squad. We're not going to complete it. So I feel like it got a bit chaotic, but I don't know. I don't want to predict anything for tomorrow. I just want to wait and watch how they're going to go because RCB has almost nothing left. At the same time, there are other franchisees who still have 25, 30 crores with them. So I think they're on the upper hand, whoever's got more money in the purse.
All right. We're going to let the lady have the last word, are we? Before we wrap up, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been a long, tiring day. I will say good night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Once again, hoping for a faster, if not.
I just want to add one more thing. As nice and gentlemen you guys are behaving by not interrupting her, please do it so that you can pitch in your points. I feel being a woman, I feel I could do that more often with her, but you guys take the privilege and do it. She's looking.
Thank you so much, Veda. We were just waiting for this one.
I'm still the moderator here. Okay.
It's also been 12 hours since we first started chatting about this in the morning. It's a long day. I think best not to interrupt.
Doesn't seem like that when Veda.
This is my first ever thing doing like this. So when
brilliant.
We live and learn. Yep. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot.
Good night, guys.
Have a nice rest, and we'll see you tomorrow again, bright and early.
Sleep well. Another long day tomorrow. Sleep well. Yep. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching.